In 1995, a number of our area leaders had the great privilege of establishing the Bowling Green Warren County Community Foundation. The inspiration that led those of us as founders was the need we saw for a platform in which people of the community could leave legacies. As we saw it, their creation of permanent endowment funds would continue to give forever. Today, some 17 years later, this entity has grown to become the Community Foundation of South Central Kentucky, though its mission remains the same: to encourage philanthropic giving for positive impact upon our communities for now and generations to come. In order to build, promote, and better encourage this mission, the Foundation has created an annual award to be presented to one distinguished member of our community whose life matches these same goals of service, impact, and overall commitment to our area. This represents the essence of the South Central Kentuckian of the Year.
You know, one of the things I'd like to say about Kenny Perry is when you see athletes tend to be role models for kids, and they're not all good role models. You know, let's face it. Some are, some are not. Kenny Perry is the best role model you could have your children emulating that I know.
He's no different than he was when he was a high school student. He loves people, they love him, and fame and money has not caused that to go away.
I really feel like he puts God and his faith and his family before he does everything else, and that's another, I think, a big quality that he has in my mind.
His life is in perspective. His church and his family come first. Golf comes down the line. Golf is a job.
Without a doubt, I would say that for Kenny, his achievements on the golf course, while extremely important to him and he's worked very hard for them, the coolest thing about those achievements, I think he would tell you, is what it's enabled him to do off the course.
When he was given the opportunity to go on tour, and he borrowed $5,000, if memory serves me correctly, and Ronnie Ferguson said, instead of giving me the money back if you make it on tour, give David Lipscomb, his church school, 5% of his earnings. Kenny says, okay, and he has done so. That's quite a bit of money and quite a sacrifice to give his school. But that's the bargain he made, and that's the bargain he's kept.
The 5%, one illustration that my connection with Kenny and his gift to Lipscomb, there have been 34 students out of this county, Simpson County, that he has helped to go to Lipscomb with his 5%. And initially, the 5% that was given by Kenny and Sandy to Lipscomb, it initially went to help the golf program. But Kenny got so successful in the early 90s that he was making so much money, the decision was to endow his gift. I think the first year that this endowed program was set up, the students received $1,000 per year, and now it's up to $13,000 per year and per student for 4 years.
I think Kenny and Sandy are interested in young people mainly because of their Christian background and just the fact that they're compassionate toward people.
In our case here at Potter Children's Home, he's had a part in really truly changing the lives of a lot of people and giving a lot of kids a new direction in life. His financial support helps us do what we do, and we take children who many of whom have not had a very good start in life. We help them to really work through the difficulties and the troubles in their life and really find a successful path in life.
The reason I would think the reason he has decided to really focus on helping and impacting the South Central Kentucky area is because it's meant so much to him for 53 years now.
People have a relationship with him in Franklin, Kentucky, and in Kentucky General and in the world.
He gives to the boys' club, girls' clubs in Franklin. He works with different organizations downtown there. He helps people in his church and in other churches.
Well, the connection that Kenny has to the Boys and Girls Club is, again, he was kind of one of the people who sought the need for a Boys and Girls Club in Franklin. We partner with the schools and make sure that kids who aren't on grade level, that we provide peer tutoring for them. You can see that some of the juvenile delinquency stats are down and everything. So we are making that positive impact on the community. You know, I mean, like I said, I've said it many times, you go back to 2007, where were 250 kids going every day? You know, were they sitting at home by themselves? Were they getting in trouble? Now you know where they're at. They're here at the Boys and Girls Club with people who care about them, give them support they need, and that type of thing. And that's the impact that, you know, that Kenny's had on this community. He pops in time to time, hangs out with the kids, plays ping pong, shoots a little basketball with them. Also gets on the computer, kind of does some things with them. But he stops in quite often just to see how things are going.
He is so genuine, so upbeat, loves to laugh, and he's got a big old country, good, hearty laugh from the tummy up.
He was invited to participate in this tournament in South Africa called the Ned Bake Challenge. It's for the top 10 players in the world. And he asked if I would travel with him to South Africa and caddy for him. He hits his putt, and I go to pull the pin, nothing. Just stuck, will not move. So I look down and I kind of twist the pin, and I can see like the whole cup, the plastic liner, all of it, turning with the pin. And then I hear him screaming, pull the pin, pull the pin. And I'm thinking, oh man. So I pull again, and the ball is tracking, and the cup's moving. So I just closed my eyes and I pulled it, and the whole thing came out of the ground. The whole thing in front of thousands of people. The whole thing comes up. Not only does it come up, then it falls off. So now it's kind of like sideways in the cup, which is not good. And so then I hear Kenny going from pull it out to put it back in. And so I scramble, and fortunately I tell him it's the only time I prayed he missed a putt. In the years I'd followed him and was now working for him, I really prayed he missed that putt, and he did. He missed it by 2 or 3 feet. But my whole point of telling that story is there's a lot of money on the line. He's playing against the best players in the world, and all he did was just begin crying in laughter. There was no reprimand. There was no, and he would have been certainly entitled to do so, but none of that.
Some of the other players or the announcers will make a comment about Kenny's character and how he's such a quality person.
He's not this, you know, he is this great big star on television in the golfing world, but you know, when he comes home, he's just Kenny, and I think that speaks volumes.
He gives to people at all times, and that's why Kenny Perry is so successful in life, not just in golf, but in his church, in his everyday life, in every way. He is one of the greatest people I've ever known.
I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity he gave me, because what I do is a very hard business to get into, and he took a chance on me and he didn't have to, and you know, that's something I'll never forget. But I'm more appreciative of what I've learned from him about just being a good human being, you know. I think when I look back, I think someday in my career, that's what I'll take from my time with KP.
5 years of hard work. You don't ever think it's ever going to pay off, but I feel like now all the time I've spent playing golf, it's been well worth it after today.